Hello survivors and welcome to First Aid Spray, a Resident Evil podcast by fans for fans. This is episode 90 of the show, in which I take the brains of my compatriots to task and we get our adventuring skills tested in our season finale with Trivia Challenge Round 6. My name is Sai, and joining me on the panel this week, audiences love him, quizzes fear him. It's Fire Button Steve Valance.
Hey, hi everybody.
Lisa Trevor is still alive, true or false? It's James, aka Moist Owlet.
Ding.
If they win the quiz, then great. If they don't, then that's fine. They don't even like Resident Evil anyway. It's Michael Burger time early.
All I'm saying is that it was just better when it was supposed to be a spoof.
And my apologies to him, as he will not be the one answering the specifically one question in today's quiz about the humble frog boy. From Steamforged Games, it's Sherwin Matthews.
What are you doing to me, Si? Honestly, what are you doing?
First Aid Spray is recorded in front of a live Discord server audience, so join now to hear the show early and unedited, and to become part of our wonderful little community where we discuss life, the universe, and Resident Evil. You can find the server and all of our social media links at our website, faspraypod.com. That's where you can also find our merchandise store and our Patreon page. First Aid Spray is nothing without our supporters. Tiers begin at $1 a month. Head over to patreon.com/faspraypod to support the show. Speaking of merchandising, that's the first checkpoint on my long list of housekeeping, so please bear with me, but it's all quite important stuff. Some of it's coincidental timing, that we've got like no news and loads of housekeeping. Some of it is planned because, of course, if you're hearing this episode as it's released on November 28th, this is the 6th anniversary of our first ever episode, so happy 6 years to us. And to celebrate that, we're having a bit of a visual shake-up, which you may or may not have noticed. By the time this goes out, we should have got that all sorted across all the social medias, but we do have a brand new logo which was created by Palliwags, so special thanks to Palliwags for the new logo, which is now available on, you know, t-shirts and bags and mugs and whatever else you like over on our merchandise store in two different varieties, one with a green splash, one with a red splash. So I love them. I'm probably going to pick up something on both. But if you love the new logo and you want some new First Aid Spray merchandise, go check out the new merchandise. Yeah. Number 2 is social medias. This isn't a huge announcement, more of a reminder because of what's going on in the world as we record this. There is a mass exodus going on from Twitter, so this is a reminder that we are on Blue Sky. Do find us on Blue Sky, FA Spray Pod, and some of us have migrated over and deleted our Twitter handles as well in some cases. I don't quite know what my plan is with the First Aid Spray Twitter. I'm going to hang on to it for now. You probably noticed that I haven't used it a lot in the last year or two anyway, like it was quite active before. But if I'm going to use any of them right now, we'll probably be slightly more active from a brand perspective, if you like, on Blue Sky. So yeah, go follow us on Blue Sky if you haven't already. And the final piece of housekeeping, a bit of a sneaky plug to the Resident Evil Hurdle. If you don't know what a hurdle is, it's like a Wordle. And if you don't know what a Wordle is, well done for missing that entire thing when it blew up. Hurdle is playing a clip of a song, in this case from Resident Evil, and you have to try and guess what it is. It's a different song every day, and it's just a fun thing to add to your daily routine, especially if you like Resident Evil music. There is a Resident Evil Hurdle that's been out there for quite a while now, but quite frankly, it's broken and it doesn't actually play any Resident Evil music. So Choji Akamichi from the server has taken it upon himself to create the real Resident Evil Hurdle, which you can now find. Link will be in the description. Shout out to him. You can follow him on Blue Sky and Ninja Galaxy on Blue Sky as well, who is a big part of getting the sort of basic coding down. It's a long process. It's going to be one of those things that we keep adding to over time. So yeah, follow Choji for updates on that. But you can find the link to it, and currently right now you'll be guessing songs from the original Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 7, and we'll be steadily adding more soundtracks to that as we go along. I think that's everything from us on housekeeping. There is no official Resident Evil news yet again, but that's nice because we have a fun, chilled episode to get to with Trivia Challenge Round 6. And now, reading Housekeeper's Memo 1 from Resident Evil 4 2023, Sean Attic, who you can follow on Twitter at Sean Attic.
I have failed you, my lord. I was unable to fulfill your final commandment and keep the boy from the path of wickedness. I caught a glimpse of Master Ramon's evil temperament during his younger years, when he discovered a servant mocked him by uttering pulgarcito behind his back. He summoned her to his private chambers. After forcing her to kneel before him, Ramon doused her face with a vial of vitriol he pulled out of his pocket. The young master watched with glee when the servant writhed in agony as the skin melted from her face. His twisted grin still haunts my dreams to this very day. As time passed, Ramon's treachery only deepened, and that infernal cult soon learned they could prey upon his vulnerable heart. Curse the fiends! They have manipulated Master Ramon and turned him into their puppet. Worst of all, they have managed to use him to unleash Las Plagas that the Salazar family has fought so long and hard to keep sealed away. Lord Diego, rest assured, I intend to watch over Master Ramon until the very end, whatever fate may befall us. As a faithful servant of the Salazar family since birth, it is my duty and my penance to you.
As is customary now at the end of every season of First Aid Spray, we end our seasons with a quiz, and what's become another tradition is we've moved our legally distinct adventures that our compatriots choose / Troblem Solvers to the end of year as well. As is customary, the winner of last year's quiz hosts. Spoiler alert from an episode from 12 months ago, I won last year's quiz, so I'm hosting, and Sherwin has done me the wonderful honour of writing this year's Troblem Solver, which I know we all know next to nothing about except that we needed to get a deck of cards in front of us, which worked out nicely because it means I can use that as part of the quiz as well. So this is going to be a 5-round quiz. Everybody will get 3 questions per round, with a variety of different topics to each round. But before we get there, I need to sort of determine the turn order of the quiz. So if you could all, if you haven't shuffled your deck of cards already, please do so and draw me the top card, and we'll determine the order of the quiz.
I got a 4.
Berg's got a 4. James?
I got a jack of hearts.
You got a jack. Okay, that's quite high up there. Sherwin?
Ace of clubs.
An ace. We're going first then. Very nice. And Steve?
Ons. I have the king of clubs.
Ooh, look at that. Okay, so
Brave God myself.
The order in that case is going to be Sherwin up first, then Bergs, then James, then Steve. Every
traditionally,
round.
if the ace in blackjack, the ace can choose to be the lowest.
It can. I'm not going to allow that.
Okay.
It's my quiz. One of the rules of the quiz is whatever the quiz hosting person says goes.
Okay, excellent.
Which is going to be a factor when it comes to a couple of these rounds, including round 1. I guess I'll also point out quickly is that beforehand, I asked everyone for a specialist subject, if you like. I asked them for a Resident Evil that they think they could answer questions on, and everyone sent me a couple of games, and I tried to be fair and pick as close to the top as I could with everyone. There are going to be a couple of those rounds that comes up, but the first round is just kind of going to be all of Resident Evil. And the first round's theme is where, specifically, where do you find this item? So I'm going to give you an item, and you get 1 point if you tell me which Resident Evil the item is from, and then you get an additional point if you can tell me the location. And this is where I say about, I get to make the decision. I've got actual room names written down here, but obviously I'm not expecting everyone to know every room name. But if you can give me an idea of where this item is in terms of, it's this room with this puzzle in it, or it's the room connected to this one, or it's where this event happens, I'm sure we can come to an understanding. Obviously, I know what room, I know what's going on here. So as best as you can describe it, I guess, and we can award points as suit. So yes, 2 points up for grabs on every question. So Sherwin, you're up first. And your first item is, where would I find the hook shot? 1 point for the Resident Evil, 1 point for the location in that Resident Evil.
Hookshot.
The hook shot.
Code Veronica.
It's not Code Veronica, I'm afraid.
Pass. I can't tell you a room.
Say toilet. Say toilet.
I'm going to say this is the best quiz ever, Si. Amazing work. And that's all I got.
Damn. I'm afraid that
Can you steal?
there is no stealing. I'm afraid there's no stealing. Oh, Sherwin, I'm so sorry to start off on 0 points. The hook shot from Resident Evil 0,
Of course it is. Yeah.
the infamous item for getting on top of the train carriage and that everyone then forgets that they have to go back for.
To go find the bat. Yeah.
Yeah, the room is quite hard, actually, admittedly, which is technically it's the rear carriage is what it's called, but it's one of the two train carriages. It's the one of the back when it comes to passenger carriages. So bad luck, unfortunately. Let's see if you do any better with the second item. Where would I find the King's Grail?
And this is again for me.
This is for you, Sherwin.
Oh, good. 0 points. King's Grail. I really don't know where the King's Grail is. Sure, let's say... I'll go Resident Evil 0, see if you double dipped.
Oh, I'm afraid not. It's the original Resident Evil 4.
Okay, fair enough. Cool.
It's in the castle. Specifically, this is the room where you fight multiple armaduras. You get the King's Grail.
Yep.
Then you get the Queen's Grail, which allows you to go into the ballroom. And Sherwin, your final question for round one. Let's see if we can get you some points on this one. I don't know if you've played this game. I guess we'll find out. May have given it away there, I suppose. Where would I find leg? Just leg, not the leg. Just leg.
Excellent. Move on to somebody else. Steve, I think.
I take it that's a pass.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna shoot for the moon, so it's Gun Survivor, and that's one of the annoying kids. But that's about it.
I wish it was. The correct answer is Resident Evil 7 because it's Ethan's leg. There is an optional scene that can appear in the pantry where Jack Baker takes his leg off. It's the only area in the game where it can happen, where he takes your leg off with his shovel, I guess, and then you can pick the leg back up. So rather unfortunate start to the quiz. 0 points for Sherwin. Moving on, Burger, you're next. 3 questions for you. Your first item. Where would I find the statue's left arm?
Statue's left arm.
Statue's left arm. Burger's thought of something that's funny, at least.
No, it's funny because I'm just guessing for that one.
Hey, I mean, a guess is better than nothing.
I was gonna say that sounds like a Village reference.
Are we going with Village?
Yes.
It's not Village, I'm afraid. Oh, it's going to be one of those quizzes.
Okay.
The statue's left arm is from Resident Evil 2 Remake. It's the one with the book in its hand.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah,
I didn't know that's what that was called.
Oh, that's one I knew. Holy
Yeah.
So it's in the art room.
So I
The
actually
book is
knew
in the
2 of
library.
Sherwin's.
Figures, right?
Yeah, I actually did
somewhat-
know that one. But there we are.
It's somewhat randomized, and then afterwards I kind of tried to tweak it to make it fair, but clearly I've messed it all up. Burger, your second item. Where would I find the wedding ring?
The wedding ring.
Wedding ring. Which Resident Evil, and where would I find it?
That sounds like a Remake 2 item. I'm gonna say you doubled up.
I like that you've both gone with that logic, and unfortunately you're both wrong. The wedding ring is from Resident Evil Village. It is in the medicine room in House Beneviento. It's part of the whole puzzle with Mia's doll form, unfortunately. Burger, your final chance to score points on round 1 is where would I find the bundle of coins? Bundle of coins. It's a key item rather than currency. I guess probably important to point out.
Sigh.
Yep.
I know this is gonna sound like I'm trolling you.
Okay. Are you going to say Remake 2?
No, I'm gonna say that this is the one that you're doubling down on. And I'm gonna guess Village because it sounds like a Village item, just like
The triple.
It is the triple. It's a big fat goose egg,
No.
I'm afraid, Bergs.
What game is that
The
from?
correct answer is Resident Evil Revelations. It's found in the casino
Damn.
because the bundle of coins is for, operating. One of the
Good thing I got those all wrong because I hate Resident Evil so much.
See, I set you up for success either way.
Yeah.
What's the problem? James, nervous? This has got
I have- I have-
so hard.
I have so much confidence right now.
Oh, it's all coming apart. I'll never write a quiz again, don't worry.
I feel like we're all garnished until Steve turns up anyway, to be fair.
James, your first item. Where would I find Alfred's ring? Point for the Resident Evil, point for the location.
I'm going to go with the obvious and say Code Veronica.
Oh my god, somebody got a point. Congratulations, that is a single point. It is from Resident Evil Code Veronica. Where do you find Alfred's ring, though, in Code Veronica?
I actually have no idea. So I'm just going to make a guess. It's in the room where he dies. Spoiler.
I'm going to accept that. Yeah, that is technically true. It's Alexia's lab.
Let's go.
Where Alexia wakes up, and you do get it from where he dies. So that is 2 points, James. The confidence paying off.
Okay, guesses. Let's go.
James, your second item. Where would I find the lithographic stones? And by stones, I should point out there's 4 of them, and they're labelled A through D. They're all in the same room. It's all part
Resident
of the
Evil
same.
4 remake.
Is correct. Do you know? Can you describe where that is?
It's the room with all the shields on the wall. There's a bunch of shields.
Yeah, I mean
And
that's
you have to put the lithogram things into the wall so you can keep progressing. It's like a puzzle thing.
yeah. I would say that is accurate. It's the room where the cutscene with Ada, but I also was expecting. But yeah, the bindery is the technical name of the room.
Oh,
Fantastic. That is 4 points on the board.
what is happening?
James, your final item. Can you get the complete set? Where would I find, and this one is a little bit harder, the Madonna of Grief?
That's Village.
It's not Village.
No. Oh, you tripped me up with that one. Oh, that I don't
I'm
know.
not sure if I
Please,
gave the answer. I guess I did when Sherwin got the hookshot wrong. So it's Resident Evil 6, if that helps.
Oh, I have not played that game.
All right, James, you're in the lead with 4 points. Steve, you're up last on round 1.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this. Where would I find the yellow gemstone?
Oh, crumbs. Wait. Okay, yellow gemstone is in the taxidermy-like room in Resident Evil Remake.
Yeah, I will accept all of that. It's Resident Evil Remake. I have trophy room, but that makes sense. It's the room with the deer and whatever else, the deer head. It's in one of the eye slots, isn't it? So that is 2 points on the board for Steve, of course.
Bloody anorak. All right, yeah.
Steve, your next item. Where would I find the green jewel?
Okay. Oh God. Wait. No. Oh, there's so many of these blasted gemstones.
Where's the green one, Steve?
Where's the green jewel?
Where's the green jewel? I'm gonna just say it's there. You know where it is. In Resident Evil Outbreak.
Yeah, you know.
You're going to go with Resident Evil Outbreak?
Yeah, Resident Evil Outbreak in the university somewhere.
Yeah, do you know what? It's a strong guess. I'm afraid not. The answer I'm looking for, specifically Resident Evil 3 Remake. There is a green jewel in Resident Evil Nemesis, but once you look at it, it's called the Emerald. So that is the defining difference. And it's found in the toy store on standard difficulty, but if you'd have got it, I would have also taken Pharmacy for the harder difficulties.
Oh no.
So yellow gemstone, green jewel. And your final item, Steve, is where would I find the Virgin Heart?
Oh, that's which one do you want, Si? Because any red jewel you find in Resident Evil 2, be it in the little statue you can push around or in the little art gallery thing behind the briefing room, if examined, becomes a virgin heart.
I will take that.
In
That
Resident
is
Evil 2
2 more points for
Classic.
you. Correct. So that was my attempt to trip you up. Yes, the red jewel, I think it is what you pick it up as. If you examine it in classic Resident Evil 2, it is the Virgin Heart jewel, or rather, they are the Virgin Heart jewels. So 4 points for Steve on that round. So the scores at the end of round 1, it is a tied for first place and a tie for second place. Berger and Sherwin in second place with 0. And Steve and James in first place, both with 4.
High five. Yeah.
I cannot believe it.
This scoreboard's right there, right in second place, everybody.
Yeah, boom. That's how you do it.
Yes, congratulations to everyone. So, round number 2, we had where. Round number 2 is how. Specifically, how many. This is one of the rounds that are game specific. So, I asked everyone, as I said, for a game to choose. And up first is Sherwin, whose game of choice was Resident Evil 1 Remake. The way this round works, it is just for 1 point. Each question is for 1 point. And I'm going to give you a question, and it's multiple choice. I'm not just going to ask you to pick a random number out of thin air. It is at least multiple choice. So allow me to read the question and then give you the 3 answers and then make your guess. So Sherwin, your first question in the how many round is how many buttons must a player push to solve the stained glass puzzle as fast as possible? That's the gallery room puzzle. The answers available are 4, 5 or 6.
4.
Is correct.
Wow.
Yeah. 3 paintings that you need to push, and then there is a confirmation button at the end.
Yeah, truthfully, I thought 1 we didn't need to push it. It's 3, but glad you gave me the choice.
Your next question on the how many round. How many endings are there in Remake according to the cinematic gallery in the game? Is it 8 endings, 10 endings, or 12 endings?
10.
10 is incorrect. It's 12 endings.
Huh. Yeah, okay.
And your final question of the round. How many rooms are there in the map of Spencer Mansion's first floor? 26, 31, or 34?
31.
Is correct. Fantastic. There you go, showing on the board with 2 points.
Feels good.
Up. There you go. It's begun. Sorry, Bergs, you're in. Slipped out a second.
Hey,
I'm afraid.
it's cool. I can come back.
You absolutely can, and you are up next with your game of choice, which is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Yes.
So your first question in round 1. How many different types of grenade can be loaded into the grenade launcher? 3, 4, or 5?
There's explosive, fire, acid, and upgraded for at least one of those. I'm going to say 4.
That is the answer that I have.
Yeah.
Are there upgraded grenades? I don't think there are.
I guess there's not. Maybe you
No.
interpret one as an upgrade, but no, I guess there's just the 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you missed the frost grenade, but
That's right.
counted it as an upgrade. So
Yep. Either way, fantastic. That is a point for you. Your second question in round 2. How many live selections are there in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis? Is it 7, 9, or 11?
That many.
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm thinking. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, it's fine. I'm just messing.
I know that there's probably ones I'm forgetting here, but I don't feel like there's that terribly many. So I'm gonna take. I think the safe choice here and say B, 9 of them.
There is 9.
Yes. Okay.
Correct. You are also on 2 points. A
Nice.
chance to get ahead with your final question of round 2, which is how many items can Nemesis drop upon defeat in a single playthrough? 5, 6, or 7?
7.
Is correct.
Yeah. Nice.
That is all 3 points in this round.
I have always said that Resident Evil 3 Nemesis was the least bad Resident Evil game.
Yes, I'm pretty certain that's on record, actually. Okay, James, you are up next. Your game of choice was Resident Evil Village, of course, and in fact, you played it on the server this week, and I watched you play most of it. It was really interesting seeing what you were paying attention to and what you weren't. And there was even a point when you were like, I bet one of the questions is, how many lamps are going to be in this house? So this this round is your nightmare, I think.
Oh no.
It's not quite how many lamps. So your first Resident Evil Village how many questions is how many Varkolax can Ethan face during a single playthrough of Village?
Is this multiple choice?
It is multiple choice. The choices are 2, 3, and 4.
Say only Ethan.
How many Varkolax can Ethan face during a single playthrough of Village? 2, 3, or 4?
Okay. 2.
Is incorrect, I'm afraid. It's 3. There's one as you head towards Moreau's lab for the first time, which accosts you in a cutscene.
Yeah.
There's one wandering around where you get the wolfsbane in the actual lab itself.
Oh, that's the one I forgot.
Yeah, and then there's the Alpha Varkolak, which is in the wheat field at the end of the game, which is the sort of...
The
Well,
big
actually,
one.
I guess 2 of them are optional, but that one feels the most optional because it's out of the way.
Yeah.
Bad luck, I'm afraid. Your second question on round 2 is how many people are taking refuge in Louise's house, including herself and excluding Ethan? 6, 7, or 8?
7.
Oh, I'm afraid not. It's 6. I know, I counted them while you were playing. And your final question for round 3, how many wells can Ethan use the well wheel on to gain items in Resident Evil Village? Is it 3, 5, or 7 wells?
Let me just go around the game a second.
Yeah, we got time.
In my head.
No, that's fine, honestly. It's a tough
The
one.
answers?
3, 5, or 7
5.
is incorrect, I'm afraid. That's unfortunate. No points for you this round. The correct answer is 7. I genuinely couldn't believe at first, but there you go. Cool. And the last person to take on round 2, of course, is Steve with how many? Your game of choice was Resident Evil 4 OG. So let's see how we get on with your first question. How many different pieces of treasure in Resident Evil 4 have the word elegant in their name? Is it 0, 2, or 4?
Oh, I'm going to say 4.
Oh my god, it's correct. Well done.
That was originally what my brain was going. Elegant perfume. Elegant what else?
Yeah,
Elegant stuff.
Elephant, I just said there. Elegant perfume bottle, not elephant perfume bottle. Elegant headdress, elegant mask, and elegant chessboard.
One has to be classy about these.
True.
Resident Evil 4, the bougiest of Resident Evils.
I mean, there's an item called the King's Grail in it.
Well, yeah, no, fair point, fair point. Steve, your second question for the how many round is how many files are there in Resident Evil 4, including the player manuals? 29, 30, or 31?
Oh, crumbs. Can I have the questions again? The numbers again?
29, 30, or 31 files in Resident Evil 4.
I
including
feel like
player manuals.
lowballing it and going for 29.
Is correct.
Oh, I was lucky. that was pure guesswork.
Unbelievable. That's all right. This one will be pure guesswork. How many times did Sai save on her first run of Resident Evil 4 on Oculus? Was it 30 saves, 35 saves, or 40 saves?
Okay, so I'm going to take it as you're wearing an Oculus, right? That's going to be occasionally tiring one's eyes because you're wearing it. And mostly it's right in your face. So you might need to take more of a break to hydrate. Put some eye drops in. Therefore, I want to say 40 saves.
It's correct.
Oh my god, Steve.
Here I am trying to trip you up every step of the way.
Can't even guess incorrectly. Oh, that's
I'm
funny.
not trying.
You got all of them correct. So well done, Steve. You are now charging into the lead with 7 points. James is second with 4, Berger on 3, and Sherwin with 2 points. goodness. Well, we've had we've had how many. The next round, to continue the theme, is what? Specifically, what is this song? This is our first audio round. This is another sort of back to all Resident Evil rather than game specific. So again, there are 2 points available in this round. 1 point if you guess the Resident Evil that the music is from. 1 point if you give me some clarification, some context for it. You can give me the title if you know it, but obviously I understand that a lot of these titles were originally in Japanese, so they've been translated differently. So lots of people have different names for these songs. But if you can give me an idea of when this track plays. So what I'm going to do is I will, as we're recording this, drop them in one by one into the live chat, and you can listen to them a couple of times before you make your guess. But obviously, in the edit, I will just play them through. There has been one issue making this round, however, is that when I was putting this together, I seem to have some kind of bug in my music program, and everything's come out backwards, I'm afraid. So I guess we'll just have to deal with it. So Sherwin, you're up first. You get 10 seconds of a backwards Resident Evil song. You need to give me the Resident Evil that it's from. And yes, some context or a title, please. Here is your first music clip.
That's the intro to Gaiden.
It is the intro to Gaiden. Prologue is the name of the track, I believe, but I'll take that. 2 points for you on your first clip. Your second piece of music sounds like this.
That's another intro track. This time, I think that's Ferrari 3 Nemesis.
Yeah, that will take 2 points. I have it down literally as intro to Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, the eye catch at the beginning of the game. I think it's the little bop, 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 bop at the end for me that gives it away. And Sherwin, your final backwards music clip goes a little bit like this.
That's Code Veronica.
It is Code Veronica.
And it's the final boss fight. It's the one where you've got Veronica wailing away, and I'm not going to do the thing because my throat is ravaged.
I'll take it, yeah. Alexia Type B, the final boss theme of the game. That was always going to be the round where you clawed back some points, certainly. So Sherwin coming away with 8 points now.
Thank you. I appreciate that round. That was the best round.
Excellent. Cool. Okay. Burger, you're up next. Same as before.
I'm so ready.
10 seconds of a backwards song. Your first clip sounds like this. I need the Resident Evil and some context.
Is this the save room theme?
Which game? I mean, I can give you a point for that. It is a save room theme, but an extra point, tell me which Resident Evil. Most people would guess the Resident Evil first and then the context, but I appreciate.
Gosh. Is that Resident Evil 3?
It's not Resident Evil 3, I'm afraid. It's Resident Evil 2, but it's a safe theme. I'll take it. You can get a point for that one, certainly.
I knew it was one of those two.
Your second clip is this.
Definitely sounds like one of the remakes. Oh gosh, it's the fact that it's backwards throwing me off. Is this remake 3?
It's not remake 3.
Which one is it?
It's Resident Evil 0.
Oh. Is this the opening cinematic theme music?
I'm afraid not.
No.
It is Leechman.
Oh. Okay.
Leechman. Mr. Wibbly Wobbly Man, as he is sometimes known.
Cool.
And your final clip, Bergs, goes a little bit like this.
Yeah, with it being backwards, I don't know.
That's a hard one, definitely.
Remake 2?
It's not Remake 2.
No?
It's Resident Evil 5.
Oh. Yeah, I should have said that one. I was gonna say it was a goofy one. Not really actiony. But I went with the serious pick as opposed to the goofy one. But no, that's unfortunate. The fact that they were backwards threw me off.
Cool. Okay, James, you are up with your first clip, which goes like this.
That's Resident Evil 4.
It is Resident Evil 4.
And context, that is the teaser trailer music. I know that was on there. It was the flamenco they did.
I don't know if I can give you that, unfortunately. I'll give you a point for Resident Evil 4, but it is the opening theme for the opening cinematic rather than like an eye catch. It's called The Drive, but yeah, it's the first piece of music that plays in the game. James, your second music clip.
That's Resident Evil 7.
It is Resident Evil 7.
And it's Aunt Rhodey, isn't it?
It is Go Tell Aunt Rhodey from Resident Evil 7. That is 2 full points. And your final clip for this round to catch up to Sherwin. This will put you in the lead if you manage to get 2 points.
God, I know this.
It's a Linux system. He knows this.
It is a Unix system. I should know this. Oh no, I'm gonna really kick myself. Damn. Is it Resident Evil 3 Remake?
It's not Resident Evil 3 Remake.
I was thinking it was the Power Station theme.
It's Resident Evil 1996, the original game.
Oh, of course it is.
And it's Plant 42's boss theme.
Oh.
So tough luck, I'm afraid.
You take all my points away for not getting that.
No, I don't think I'll do that. Because Steve, you're up next with the final person to take on the first audio round. Your first clip goes like this.
That's just made up. That's not real. Oh god! Right. Oh.
Steve, make a guess. It hasn't gone you know done anything wrong so far.
All right.
Make a guess.
That's a good point.
Okay, I'll guess the game first, and then we'll see where we go from there. Is it 3 Remake?
It is not 3 Remake.
I'm going to just say it's when Leon throws a shoe.
No Leon in this game, unfortunately. That is Resident Evil Director's Cut DualShock. Of course, the infamous soundtrack is the revisited theme for the second floor. Tough luck, Steve.
That sounds made up. I don't believe you.
It's not real. All right. Well, your second clip. Let's see if you can claw it back with this one here.
Yes, I can. That's the title screen for Resident Evil Resistance.
It is the main theme, which is just called Resistance for Resident Evil Resistance. That is a 2-pointer for you. Well done.
Yeah, COVID-19 times may have left some things, but
I did wonder if that would drag up any past memories for you, certainly. And the final question of round 3, Steve, which Resident Evil, and context please for this piece of music.
I'm going to have to listen to that one again. What? It sounds like a hamster having a heart attack. Okay. All right. Is this another DualShock gem?
Is that what you're going with?
Is this another Resident Evil DualShock? Yeah.
It's not Resident Evil DualShock, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay. It's when Chris divulges his love for pasta.
You were very close. The name of the track is called Attack 1. But this is from the beloved non-canon mobile game Resident Evil Confidential Report.
Oh!
So I'm afraid just the 2 points for you, Steve, that round, which you are still in the lead, but only just. Steve has 9 points. Sherwin has 8 points for absolutely destroying the music round, as we all knew he would. James has 6 points and Berger has 4. So it's all quite tight, really. Like, you're not all, there's no one massively trailing behind. It is still to play for, as they say. That said, round 4 is just for a single point again. This is back to your game specifics. We've had where, we've had how many, we've had what. So round 4 is why. Quite simply, why. This is, vaguely sort of law-related questions, beginning with the word why for the most part. And they are relevant to your chosen game. So Sherwin, you're up first with remake-related questions. And your first question in this category is, in the Keeper's Diary, why does the Keeper call Scott from research a scumbag?
Because he cheated at cards.
I'll take it he cheated at poker, yes. Correct. Nice and easy. Your second why question is, why does Rebecca Chambers say, somebody sure knows how to make a deal?
Because of all the supplies in the, would you call it the supply room, the first aid room, wherever save room you usually find it?
Yeah, I put save room regarding umbrella chemicals in the save room. Absolutely, that's another point for you. And your final question in round 4. Why was the Chimera BOW shelved by Umbrella?
I've got a whole bunch of old RE tech in my head for this one because I think they changed it.
Entirely possible, yeah.
But I believe it's because I think the original one was because it was basically just very time intensive to create, but I think this one is because it didn't prove that they could train it to be to deploy it very easily into combat zones.
I would take that, yeah. Like, I think the specific reason is like low intelligence, but that translates to, not usable as a trooper, certainly. So, absolutely, that is all 3 points this round for Sherwin. Yet again, the comeback continues. Bergs, you're up next with why questions for Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Your first question is, according to operation instructions, the file, why should the UBCS ring the clock tower bell?
Cause the extraction?
Correct. It's a signal for evac. Yeah, absolutely. Your second question, similar one that Sherwin. It's why did somebody say this? Specifically, why does Nikolai say, I had no choice, he was about to turn into a zombie?
Put clues in the actual words.
That's... yeah.
Give me some context. Come on, give me some...
He was going to shoot Mikhail. He shot me. It's after he shot Mikhail.
Yeah, I can't take that, I'm afraid. It's after killing Murphy Seeker.
That's the one. Because
Same thing.
yeah, he shoots somebody.
Yep. Carlos
to prevent them from talking.
Kind of freaks out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And your final question for this round is, why are there hunter gammas in tubes in the basement of the hospital?
Gosh, they had to have been there for some kind of like testing or development, right?
Can you get any more specific than that?
Specific developmental testing for some disease.
Yeah, kinda.
Yay! I got my technicality point.
I'll give you it. Sure, I'm gonna be nice and give you that. Doctors hoping to create a vaccine from it, basically.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, James, you are up with Resident Evil Village questions. Starting with another file question. According to Moreau's diary, why is Moreau afraid of Miranda achieving her goal?
Because she won't be his mother anymore.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, he's worried that he'll be abandoned. So this was what I put down. So yeah, I'll give you that. Absolutely. Your second question. Why does Rose grab her security detail by the scruff of the neck?
Because he calls her Evelyn.
Correct. Closing cutscene. And now we're going to go to the beginning of the game for your final question for this round. Why is the girl in the Village of Shadows story trapped inside of a mirror?
Repeat the question again.
Yes, why is the girl in the Village of Shadows story trapped inside of a mirror?
Damn. That's a good question.
That's why it's the last one.
Because she took something. She took something off the horse without asking.
Yeah, I'll take it, absolutely. I'll give you the point. What I had written down was, and this is just one of those sentences you write down and go, I love this job. The witch traps her for taking a gear from a steed.
Yeah.
Gifts we gave and more you took. That's the general sentiment. Good stuff. Well done. That is all three. That replay was worth doing, certainly. Steve, you're up for the final set of questions for this round. For Resident Evil 4 questions.
Oh, no.
All beginning with the word why. First one's quite straightforward, I think. Why are the Ganado called the Ganado?
Because they felt... right, it's because they're considered cattle, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll take it. It's Spanish for cattle. Yeah. Your next one. Why is the Verdugo called Verdugo?
Because they thought xenomorph in Spanish would have been a bit on the nose.
I'm afraid not. It's called
Dang
the
it.
Executioner in Spanish.
Oh.
Hey, I knew that
There you
one.
go. You learned something. And the final question of the why round. Why are the Novistador called Novistador?
They have no eyes, except they do have eyes.
They've got eyes on the inside.
They're called no eyes. I don't understand why they're called no eyes.
Are
but
they?
Yeah.
I'm going to translate that myself because that's not the translation I had.
My strategy guide says they're called no eyes.
Well, I am the quiz chooser.
She is the quiz master. I have to acquiesce to those rules. What's the?
Do you know what's incredible about this is that my translation that I got, admittedly from the Resident Evil wiki, it's Spanish for the unseen. So I do understand where no eyes comes from. Maybe I'm going to stick with my answer. But if you put it into Google Translate, you put Novistador, it comes out as the journalist.
What?
I would have accepted the journalist as it turns out. So that's fine. It's no, I'm afraid I can't take no eyes. It's more like no scene, I guess. So that puts scores at the end of round 4. Going into the final round, I'm going to work from the bottom upwards this time. Berger on 6, James on 9, Steve on 10, and Sherwin on 11. So Sherwin is in the lead by a point. We've had where, we've had how many, we've had what, we've had why. The final round, of course, is who. Specifically, who said that? This is another double pointer. 1 point for the Resident Evil, 1 point for the character that said this line. And I thought, you know what? I've got to the end of a quiz by this point. I've probably done a lot of talking in this episode. Do you know what would be way easier if I just hired other people to do this talking for me? So this round will be read by friends of First Aid Spray, former guests, voices from the past, be it recent past or further back than that. So special thank you to everyone who contributed some quotes to me, and it was all very last minute as well, so I want to apologise to everyone for me scrambling in the last week for this, and also thank you to the people that I asked that couldn't turn it in on time as well. It was a bit of chaos. Nobody knows this is about to happen, but I've had a lot of fun with this, and I'm really excited about this. So yes, you will all get, same as before, we're going to start with Sherwin. You'll get 3 quotes read by different people. Just need you to tell me what Resident Evil the quote is from and the character that said it, if you can. Sherwin, your first quote comes from, actually, it's a great way to start, someone that's never been on First Aid Spray, but we've tried for years to try and sort something out and it just hasn't worked out. It's my colleague that I work with absolutely every single week, and I know you know him as well because he appears all the time in Steamforged Games productions. From What Culture and Future Game Show, it's Jules Gill reading the first quote.
7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you.
So Sherwin, if you can give me the Resident Evil that quote is from and the person that says it.
I love Jules. I hate this quote. I have no idea what it is. I'm going to suggest this is a William Birkin. Sorry, Albert Wesker quote. Christ knows what game. Let's say.
Come on, take it.
RE6.
Oh, I'm afraid not. He's actually dead by that point. But here's Albert Wesker. Famously, this is Albert Wesker in Resident Evil 5. So that is a point for you.
Okay, not bad.
Not bad at all. You maintain your lead. Your second quote, let's see if we can keep it going, comes from former guest from the one of the virology episodes. It's Rexy with your second quote.
Just so you know, I'm not into that pain is pleasure thing.
I'm going to go RE6 again, just for the funsies. And Sherry, no, that's really creepy if I say Sherry Birkin, considering the quote. Let's not do that, that's weird. Even if she is older at that point. Pick a random female character. Helena. That's a character, I have no idea who that is, but it's a name in the game.
You're going to absolutely kick yourself. This is from Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
And his pleasure is Carlos.
Said by Carlos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is when the press office explodes. So it's actually technically a missable quote.
I don't believe it, because he would have said, "Hey, girly," at the start or end of it, if it was.
Yeah, that's fair. And your final question for the quiz, and your final quote, comes from beloved First Aid Spray team member that we haven't heard from in a little while. And much love to you, Jordan, with your final quote. This one's a hard one.
I believe that I will survive anything. I'm scared, but I have to keep going.
I'm going to say RE3 Remake and Jill Valentine.
Do you know what? I like the confidence in that guess. Unfortunately, and you are somewhat close in a weird way, is Raccoon City, but unfortunately it's incorrect. This is from Resident Evil Outbreak, and the character is Cindy Lennox. This is said at the end of the first scenario, when you beat the first scenario.
Fair enough.
So,
Steve,
Sherwin,
roll on, win.
You end the quiz with 12 points. Berger, you are up next on the final round, and your first quote comes from First Aid Spray's own Chris Redfield and beloved Resident Evil community member Sonny Bauer.
It looks like your party has been cancelled.
This is from Resident Evil 2.
It is from Resident Evil 2, the original.
And I'm going to say this is Marvin.
It is Marvin. That is a 2-pointer for you. Your second quote comes from a guest of ours from this season of the show when we reviewed Resident Evil Degeneration. This is from Jen Von Lee.
I will not allow you fools to escape. This is what you get for trying to oppose me. Now feel my revenge.
Now feel my revenge feels incredibly campy.
It's Resident Evil.
Yeah, is this 0?
It's not 0, unfortunately. And give you a chance to guess the character with no assistance. Just, pick a name.
Is it Birkin?
It's not, unfortunately.
Oh,
this is Resident Evil Code Veronica, and this is Alfred Ashford. Yeah, moments after kind of having his world rocked. Bad luck.
Yeah, I can hear it now.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I did tell everyone for the most part to try and just read it straight, which really, what example like that really kind of, if you'd have heard it as bombastically as it's normally written, certainly, that's the thing.
Because it also sounds like something that the bad guy from that game would have said too, because he was really...
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. Your final quote and final question for this quiz comes from another First Aid Spray team member. Of course, this is from Kelsey.
Listen, sweetheart. You're here to pour drinks and look pretty. So how about you shut your mouth?
Boy.
Yeah, it's a hell of a quote. Which Resident Evil and who said it?
I mean, it doesn't help that like the human reading, he's got an accent, so it's like throwing me off. And, like,
Yep.
Because this sounds like a line you'd hear in Downton Abbey or something.
You've been watching a very different Downton Abbey to everyone else, I think.
Listen.
Well, maybe, I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I'm just making an assumption.
It's very much in like the tens at some point,
Right.
Anyway, I think this is from... Is this from Resident Evil 5?
It's not from Resident Evil 5, unfortunately.
And it wasn't one of the ones I picked, but it sounded like something. It sounded especially misogynistic, so.
Right, that's fair. I understand that logic. Do you want to guess a character that might have said this?
Gosh, it sounds like something a villain would say, like one of the bad guys. But I couldn't be more specific than that.
That's the beauty of this quote, I suppose. So this is from Resident Evil 6, I'm afraid. And
I never played 6.
Yeah, the character that says this is Chris Redfield.
What? Chris, no!
Yes, this is from
my sweet baby boy.
I don't think it's necessarily his opening cutscene. It might be. It's very early into his campaign when he's all got amnesia and all that stuff. So I'm afraid, Berger, that you finish this quiz with 8 points.
Hey, that's not a bad accounting.
It's not bad at all. I mean, you are guaranteed to come last, I'm afraid, but it's still 8 points is 8 points. You didn't come out with 0. It means I wrote a better quiz than last time. So I'll take it. James, you're up next. Your first quote comes from a guest for one of the book club episodes and even did some readings for another book club episode. It's the host of the Resident Evil podcast, Nick, better known as Neptune.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear.
Can hear the gears a turning.
Is it Resident Evil 4 Remake?
It's not Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Is it Ada?
It's not Ada, unfortunately. This is the original Resident Evil in all of its stilted dialogue glory. This is Jill Valentine.
I had no idea.
There you go. Now, I'm throwing some in there deliberately that might be outside of your wheelhouse, you see. Let's see if you get this one, though. This one comes from another Virology series guest and one of the men behind the Horror Game Awards every year that's been going for several years now that First Aid Spray has been affiliated with. This comes from AK Black and Red.
Been fantasizing about me? Have you?
Is it Luis?
It's not Luis. That's a great guess. It's not
Damn
Luis.
It. Is RE4 again? I'm just going to double up.
It's not Resident Evil 4, I'm afraid. It's Resident Evil 0 because it's Billy Cohen. This is like one of his opening lines when he meets Rebecca.
Okay.
Shout out to AK Black and Red, by the way, for me sending him this of all things to read. And he had such a great time sending me alternate takes that will never hear the light of day. They're so funny. So he was a very good sport on that front. Speaking of good sports, at this point, it wouldn't be a Resident Evil quiz episode without an appearance from him, I think. We've got to do the trifecta. We have to do the trilogy. So, James, your final reading and final question for the quiz, of course, comes from Retina.
Come out from behind that glass so that I can choke a god.
What?
Yeah, that's a hard one. That is a hard one. I believe in you.
Glad you do. Is it RE4 again?
I like the commitment, but it's not Resident Evil 4.
I have
Can
no
you
idea.
guess a character that might say this?
Chris.
I like it. It's not. I'm afraid it's Moira Burton from Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Oh.
This is Alex
balls.
Wesker's grand villain plan before she, does what she does. So I'm afraid that is a 0 on the final round for you, leaving you with 9 points at the end of the quiz. Steve, final set of questions for the quiz. You have to score 3 points in order to take lead.
Okay.
With yours, I wanted to do something a little bit different, rather than former guests. So your first quote comes from a man who needs no introduction. I'm going to give him one anyway. He's part of the Crimson Head Elder podcast. We've done a few podcasts with him, in fact. But most people listening to this podcast will know him best as the voice of Chris Redfield in Resident Evil Remake. It's Joe White.
He died in a volcano. It's okay, though. He wasn't very nice.
That's been... that is Albert Wesker in the Netflix series. Oh, no, it's not.
No, it's...
No!
I'm going to give you a point for getting Resident Evil Netflix, or Netflix Resident Evil, or NRE as some people call it.
Deserves
it's Bert.
better.
It is Bert, rather than Albert. I'll give you a point. Your second quote comes from another voice in the world of Resident Evil, a much more recent addition to the voice acting cast of Resident Evil. This is Craig Bernatowski, the current voice actor for Albert Wesker.
We don't need weapons. We need evacuation.
Oh, crap baskets. I genuinely have no idea. I'm gonna guess it's Sheva.
Ooh.
Feels like an RE5 Sheva thing. Brain's going RE5.
Afraid it is not Sheva or Resident Evil 5. It's Nikolai from Resident Evil Apocalypse. Yeah, the movies. Yeah. Don't know why it popped into my head, but it did. So I was like, I'm going to use it. And the final quote and the final question of this quiz, Steve, if you get this right, you get both points. It is going to be a win. If you get 1 point, it's a tie. And if you don't get any, Sherwin wins the quiz. So no pressure.
Okay.
It's come to a real a moment at the end here. And your final quote comes from a voice that's not been heard on First Aid Spray for several years. It's boy wonder Adam Russell Reeves.
Yay.
Oh, bless.
Don't pee your pants.
What? I mean, hi, Adam, but also... what? That could be anything. God. Okay, don't pee your pants. Who would say
solid life advice?
That's just it's got to be a movie thing, surely. Is it what was his name? The guy who gets bit in the first. Is it JD in Resident Evil 1?
That is a really fun guess. I'm afraid it's completely incorrect. This is the voice originally. These words came from the mouth of, I guess I should say, Shinji Mikami as part of the Resident Evil 4 reveal trailer in E3 2003. So that means the winner of this year's quiz is Sherwin Matthews with 12 points.
Yay.
There you go.
Right.
Starting out with 0 and coming out on top with just the final scores being Sherwin on 12, Steve on 11, James on 9 and Berger on 8. So you all did very well, all things considered. And a thank you again to everyone who contributed their voice, as I say, in a panic to this episode, especially Adam as well, who reaching out to him and be like, hey, do you want to do something for the podcast for the first time in years? Yeah, can you just say, don't pee your pants?
Legend.
That's why I've been so excited to do this, to drop that lovely surprise on everyone. Well, there you go. That's the quiz. Congratulations, Sherwin. My work is done here. And now, reading the file Custodian's Diary from Resident Evil Outbreak, Kent Green, who you can follow at Kent N Voice.
I had such a crappy day today. I accidentally lost the turntable key that Rick and Admin gave me. I'm sure I look like absolute crap. If management finds out I lost the key, getting fired will be the least of my worries. There's even a rumor screw-ups could even be used as bait for some creepy test subject the company is working on. Thank God! Roy from security found the key in the bathroom and brought it to the admin. Although I found out about this through my boss, who looks like he's about ready to chew me a new one. Man, I haven't been ripped such a big one since I was a snot-nosed brat in junior high school. Sheesh! Like it even matters. You can't do anything with the key if you don't know the code in the first place. Man, when I quit this company, I'm gonna use that key and the code and make those elevators my own personal private ride. Even I wouldn't forget a code as easy to remember as the word hope. Yep, my own personal elevator. Kinda like the sound of that.
Right, cool. So this is a choose your own meandering, or whatever we're going to call them these days. So this is a system where we are going to play through, and there are challenge cards as part of this. I don't know, Si, if you could drop the bit in the chat, I already have done for people, or what
I will do, yeah.
is going on with that. So basically, everybody is going to have a certain selection of cards. They are going to be able to use those and play those in order to overcome various different challenges. There are different types of challenges. There are different bits and pieces that will be called upon them. You absolutely can die if you fail to survive the challenge, if you play the wrong card. And there is absolutely wrong cards you could play. So try to listen for clues in the narrative text, because that's where I'll hide these things. It's not going to be as simple as me telling you exactly what number you're trying to hit, or suits, or anything else along those lines. So you're going to have to listen to this and pay attention to what I'm saying, which hopefully is not going to be a horrible coughing mess. So we'll see what we get to.
Is it a good idea for me to, or one of us, to explain the battle system out loud for listeners?
Yeah, sure. If you'd like to, yeah.
Yeah, so if you are listening to this, you will also have a little bit of a visual aid, because I'll have put it on the thumb of the actual podcast itself. But yes, the way that this works is that each suit in the playing cards will have a suit that it beats and a suit that it always loses to, which is indicated on that image by the greater than symbol. So I'm going to put them in a line. So for example, heart always beats spade, spade always beats diamond, diamond always beats club, and club always beats heart. A challenge is neither weak or strong to the card that's specific. If a challenge is neither weak or strong to the card that's played, then the value of the card is used instead. So yes, if it's not an outright this suit beats this one, then it is you have to have a higher number, and an ace will automatically pass a test.
So to also throw in there, some cards will, some challenges will not have a suit; they'll just have a number, and other times you guys will have to work collectively together to try and hit a certain number.
Ooh.
So I will tell you those types of tests when they come up, so that way you guys aren't completely blind. And on that note, apologies in advance if I do cough and splutter through all this. I'm not feeling terribly well, but we can get going with what this is. Mm-hmm. So, a little bit of an intro first. You have mail. An irritatingly chirpy voice echoes from your laptop. Ignoring the soulless electronic tone, you drag the cursor to the button marked red, or read I should say, and left click. The folder opens, a host of messenger titles bursting into life. Your eyes stray to the unread item entitled Second Report from Military Experiment Facility. Novel name, full of subtlety. Another left click opens the message, and the tiresome electronic voice helpfully repeats the title again, adding the sender's name in the most awkward way possible. Second Report from Military Experiment Facility. Agent name, Jordan. A thumbnail of Jordan appears, and his voice begins to play through the speakers. I have successfully infiltrated under the guise of a researcher as planned. I have discovered no information regarding the development of new type weapons, but I have discovered there is an unexpected individual at this facility. ... If you're working out where we're going yet, good for you. If not, then you keep going, you'll get it pretty quickly. So, all of you, I'm now you get to choose your difficulty you want to play this game at. So, send me A, B, or C, depending on which one you want to do, and I'll tell you what card you get. So, how do you like your games? Like climbing a mountain, fulfilling, but it takes a lot of work. B, like going on a hike, good exercise, but not too strenuous. Or C, like taking a walk. You can relax and enjoy yourself.
Okay.
Well, on a rocket launcher.
Eh? We're DMing you.
Yes, you are. And I'll copy paste what you actually get.
Let's do it.
I'm just having a look. Two of you are tremendous. Good on you, Si and Steve. Same for you, James. Legends. Yep. Okay. Cool. That's more or less exactly actually how I thought it would be. So if you guys could go through, get those cards ready, that'd be good. So for the listeners who aren't obviously one of these guys, where they're just quickly doing it, everyone now should have a hand of 8 cards when they're done that.
Okay.
And then basically they have certain ones, they have 2 of each suit.
Do I shuffle my deck or do I just have it as a hand?
You don't need to. You're going to choose these cards, which ones to play. So,
Okay.
as I said, you'll have 8 cards. You're going to listen to what I'm saying. When there's a challenge, I'll tell you guys, and then you get to tell me what card it is. Well, you're actually going to DM me what card it is you're playing, and then once everyone's done that, I'll tell you all if any of you died. Otherwise, we'll carry on with the story and we'll keep going until either everyone's dead or you get to the end. And we can decide whether if you die, then you're out, or whether you get to still contribute for the fun of it, or we just assume you're injured. We'll see how many of us survive.
If we use a card, is that card considered expended, or could we use it multiple times?
The card's expended until I tell you can refresh it.
Okay.
Again, depending on what choices you make, you could do. The moon casts the world below in brilliant silver, a scene painted akin to a picture from a fairy tale. The jungle canopy offers a rich blanket and the distant sea a glittering bed of stars. For a time, as you glide on the wind, you know peace, even past the loud ruffling charging through your parachute. Then the complex comes into view, ugly and square, inelegant against the organic shapes below, and lit by harsh fluorescent light. It repels your serenity and demands you return to your mission. Find and repatriate Dr. Burke. You gently land on the hard gravel and quickly gather up your chute, stashing it behind an outbuilding. The entire time your eyes on the compound searchlights, waiting to see if they swivel in your direction. Your eyes straining for any hint of shouting from the guards. Nothing. You reconvene with the others in your squad. Checking in, your voice is low. You're part of FASPOD, a government agency so secretive that not even the agents in the team will learn what the letters stand for until the sequel.
Very good. Yes.
Kelsey is absent, but you can't afford to wait. He'll catch up later. Whilst the exact layout of the facility is unknown to you, you have some information thanks to Agent Jordan, undercover here for the last few months. He's the subject of your second objective. He went silent 48 hours ago, around the time that satellites detected a reduction in light and power outage from the facility. You are to investigate his disappearance if you can. Keeping your heads down, you roadie run through the complex exterior, quickly crossing through the maze of chain link fences and towards the rear entrance. Despite the rising tension in your body, all remains quiet and the searchlights remain trained on the ground in the middle of the complex. Your first challenge, then, will be the security checkpoint at the door leading into the facility. With a series of hand signals, you fan out, ready to charge in and neutralise the guards, but find the lights are out and the guards absent. Something's wrong. Maybe it's been a wild night of partying for the guards, but it's unlikely. Checking the lock mechanism, you find it functional and quickly activate the door. You're about to leave when a red flashing light gets your attention. Next to it is a label that states primary power generator. Will you investigate the source of the flashing lights, or will you head through the doors? So at this point, you guys get to choose and let me know what you want to do. Obviously, you'll decide as a group.
Okay. Always investigate for me. There might be loot there.
I agree.
Perception checks are always superior
Okay.
to any other check.
So yeah,
All right.
I think we're all
That's
in agreement.
unanimous.
Shining light means good things, right?
The corridor to the power room isn't hard to find. There's a map and checkpoint, and even if you had forgotten that, it's printed on the walls. Paying attention to the latter is the first thing that draws your attention to the blood. A red handprint, and then a trail of heavy drops crossing over the ground, leading up to the door itself. The agent in the team that you really don't care much for, the obnoxious one, reaches over and touches the blood before declaring, "The brass is still warm," whatever that means. You open the door with the barrel of your gun and step inside. You can immediately still smell the stench of coppery blood, thick and cloying in the air. A light flickers overhead, and as it dims to black for a few seconds, you realise the generator is powerless. Suddenly, a loud noise sounds and a large shape crashes through a pile of boxes and cabling ahead. A huge reptilian head comes into view. Its eyes glitter like diamonds in the light as a vast maw opens, revealing a row of long teeth. Test. So you guys now need to tell me a card, DM me which one you're going to play, and I can go over the chart again if you want.
What's the challenge?
I think
that's a good question.
Rating is going to be revealed to us after we.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I said it's you have to listen for the clues in the narrative stuff.
Oh.
So do you want me to repeat? Do you want me to repeat the entry again so you guys get another go at this? Let's do that.
Yeah, go on then.
So the corridor to the power room isn't hard to find. There's a map in the checkpoint, and even if you had forgotten that, it's printed on the walls. Paying attention to the latter is the first thing that draws your attention to the blood. A red handprint, and then a trail of heavy drops crossing over the ground, leading up to the door itself. The agent in the team that you really don't care much for, the obnoxious one, reaches over and touches the blood before declaring, "The brass is still warm," whatever that means. You open the door of the barrel of your gun and step inside. You can immediately smell the stench of coppery blood, thick and cloying in the air. A light flickers overhead, and as it dims to black for a few seconds, you realise the generator is powerless. Suddenly, a loud noise sounds and a large shape crashes through a pile of boxes and cabling ahead. A huge reptilian head comes into view. Its eyes glitter like diamonds in the light as a vast maw opens, revealing a row of long teeth.
I see.
You see.
I understand.
So if you guys want to... Steve, I think you obviously sent me something. Feel free to revisit it if you want.
Can we discuss what we're going to play?
You guys can do if you want. It's how much you want to potentially metagame this or not.
All right.
Silence. No one cares.
Yeah. Everyone's like, well, I'm playing my own game here. Outwit you all.
Team effort. I intend to win. As a team, right? Padme gif.
I'm happy to discuss if other people want to discuss.
I think you should discuss.
We are a hashtag team.
Okay.
Because at least one of you has died right now, so you should probably discuss what you're doing.
Well, my logic then, if it's either diamonds, we should play club cards. That was my logic, because club beats diamond.
Oh.
I thought it was spades beats diamond.
Sorry, you're right. I have looked at the wrong thing. Okay. It was me. I was the one that was going to die.
Yeah, like this is a rock, paper, scissors, stone. There's four in the Rochambeau.
To be in my defence, I have always had an issue with clubs and spades. Right, there you go. I have changed my mind. We should all play spades.
All right, cool. So is that? Well, let's see if I got the last one. Dum. James sticking with it. Okay, bold.
Or stupid.
You're all right this time. You survived. So, the creature howls in agony as you open fire, the velocity of your bullets driving it backwards against the wall. Only when it stops moving do you cease and take a closer look at your assailant. Despite the fact that you've reduced large sections of its flesh into bloody pulp, the shape is unmistakable. A dinosaur. How can that be? Your mind races but find no solution that doesn't end uncomfortably with Jeff Goldblum. Turning your attention to the generator, your heart sinks as you see it's inoperable. Your attacker seems to have destroyed a giant glass panel behind which several now damaged cells lie. You have nothing to do but to return to the facility. So we move on.
Okay, cool.
The main hall doesn't take long to find. It's large and airy in here, the air conditioner's loud from working overtime to clear the heat that's accumulated throughout the day. Now the sun has gone down. A large stairwell occupies the centre of the room, leading up to the next level. Although your surroundings are still and quiet, muted echoes could be heard from deeper in the facility. They're too distorted to make out clearly, but your instincts warn they could be yet more foes, attracted by the gunfire, or survivors, locked in their own life and death struggles. There are several avenues for exploration here. The first is a door opposite, slightly ajar. Blood stains the floor and walls around it, as though someone, or something, dragged the body through. The second is an unremarkable door to your right, which looks similar to the one you just came through. Thirdly, you could head up the stairwell to the first floor. Finally, you could try to operate the elevators at the back of the hall. Although the wisdom of squeezing into such a confined space makes you nervous, it might very well be the only route to the lower levels. So, will you try the opposite door covered in blood? Will you try the adjacent door? Will you head up to the first floor, or will you try the elevators?
Oh my goodness.
We Gandalf this?
Meaning
Do we sit here for 2 days and go, oh, there's air coming through this door, that's the way?
That's going to be a big Audacity file when you get it.
Yeah. Anyone got a particular vote? I went first last time, so
I always go middle when anything comes up. I always go middle.
Okay.
Well, we've got four options,
I'll vote
right?
middle as well.
There's upstairs, bloody door, unmarked door, suspicious lift.
So middle is one of the two doors on this floor, presumably.
Yeah. So if middle, if that's what you're shooting for, is either the adjacent door, which looks the same as the unremarkable door to your right, which looks similar to the one you just came through, or heading up to the first floor.
Okay.
My Resident Evil brain says stick to the ground floor first.
Sure. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Right. Good. The door opens a little way, but then stops. It appears something is jammed behind it. Maybe some sort of barricade. You shove your full weight against the blockage, but it doesn't budge. You could keep trying, but it will take time. Will you keep trying, or will you leave it alone?
Hey, we got a lot of other options to go other places.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Okay. I'm fine moving on.
At the risk of sounding grim, if you have to force it, it's usually so.
Well, like, why would you
Gross.
want to somebody else's defenses up too? Like, because there's obviously somebody who put those defenses up.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I am in agreement. Are we going up the stairs, or do you want to try the other floor, other doors on the ground floor?
Well, if you're not going to go in there, then I'll take you back to the hub, and you can choose again.
Yeah, seems like that.
Okay, so you're back in the main hall. Will you try, or you never left, I guess. Will you try the opposite door covered in blood? Will you return to the adjacent door? Will you head up to the first floor, or will you try the elevators?
So my Resident Evil brain is like, at this point, you're following the blood trail, so you want to see where it ends, right? We've committed to the bit.
That's fair. Let's hope that isn't Jordan's blood, etc. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. This is blood. Let's hope it's not.
Yeah, or KDBs. Okay.
Yeah. So that'd be my vote, is to investigate the bloody door.
Works for me.
Okay.
You prepare for the worst, easing the door open and shining a torch into the darkness when you see the lights off within. Silence prevails for a long moment, stretching into eternity. Investigating further, you find a pair of what looks like to be researchers crumpled in one corner. The first is an older woman protectively wrapped around the second figure. Although her coat is relatively clear of blood, you can see where she's bled out onto the floor from a stomach wound. The second is considerably worse, little more than a mauled carcass. It's unlikely they were alive when they were dragged in. Will you investigate the corpses, or will you return to the main hall?
I would invest. I mean, we're here. Let's get our jump scare on.
Yeah, poke him with a stick.
Yeah, poke him with a stick.
James and Steve, you good with that?
Yes.
DM, can I roll a perception check? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, let's go for it.
You roll a perception check. It's grisly and messy work, made harder by the poor light. Eventually, though, you find a keycard on the first researcher that might be useful. That done, it's time to leave this undignified tomb. Each of you now shuffle your cards and discard one at random.
Ooh.
Exciting. Thanks, I hate it.
Let me know when you're all done.
Are we telling you the card, presumably? as well?
You can do. I mean, I'm not too fussed about you guys cheating, to be honest. Like, I don't need to know that stuff.
Right.
As long as you know you should have 6 cards left, you're all good.
I can do it.
Okay. Right, you're back in the main hall. Will you try the adjacent door again? Will you head up to the first floor, or will you try the elevators?
James, you're up. Where are we going?
I am.
Yeah, why not? Make a choice.
Okay, let's go into the elevators.
The elevator appears to be locked by a card reader. Fortunately, you have what you need.
Hey.
You swipe the card across the reader and are rewarded by an electronic tone before the panel lights flicker and go out. With no stairs in sight, it looks like you'll need to access a power supply from somewhere before you can use the elevators.
God damn.
Well, you did the first part.
Well, at least we have them unlocked.
Yeah, you did the first part, right? Okay. So you're now
upstairs then.
Yeah, you're now back in the main thing, so up to the first floor. Or you could go back to the other room if you want.
I think that's a lost
I think it's gonna be another discard a card.
You make good time up the stairs and quickly find yourself in a wide landing. Fighting appears to have taken place here, judging from the bullet casings and bloodstains and the general state of disarray. You'd say that it's been this way for some time. The stench of death is nigh on unbearable. A pair of rotting bodies slumped against one wall, long since turned pale. A sound breaks the eerie quiet from behind a door a little further along the landing. As you stand still, you hear it again. A thumping sound, like something bashing up against a glass panel. Glancing around nervously, you see another door at the far end of the landing, partially hidden by a flickering overhead light. Its metallic surface marks a maintenance access door rather than an office. Will you investigate the bodies? Will you check out the sound? Will you head to the maintenance door?
My goodness.
I fart nervously.
So you do. Discard a card. No, I'm joking.
I'm a big fan of poke the corpses with the stick
I'm
again.
not so
The
sure that
barrel
we should
of
do
my
it
gun.
twice. I feel like we're attempting
Really?
fate. Yeah.
Pushing our luck a little.
Yeah. I feel
Oh,
like it's gonna go
I'm
wrong.
with Bergs on this one. I think more loot is best loot.
All right. Well, you two can go poke the bodies, and we'll go somewhere
Stand at a
else.
safe distance. Fine, let's poke the bodies.
You sure?
Yeah. Don't say I didn't warn you, though.
Okay. You creep over to the corpses as quietly as you can and gingerly kneel to examine the first one. With one hand you reach out, only to snap it back as movement breaks the stillness. A large eye watches you through a glass with a large window behind set into a huge reptilian skull. The creature smashed its head against the glass, shattering it and bending the metal frames inwards, before snapping an immense pair of jaws around the obstruction and tearing it free. Your heart pounds in your chest as the monster roars triumphantly and lunges through, more opening to consume you. Test.
Got it. Okay. It's the other one then. It said heart pounding chest if we're discussing. So surely it'll be clubs, right?
I really don't know.
I don't know if Sherwin said 3 intentionally or not. To which, if he did, that's potentially the strength of the test.
Could also see that.
Oh, just for everybody listening at home, high numbers beat low numbers if it is the if you're looking at values.
Showing how to clarify that almost seals the deal for me. So I'm going to go with my lowest number that can beat a 3.
Yeah, my my club cards are. Well, do you know what? Actually, yes. Okay, I'm going to go with that.
All right, I'm waiting for those messages.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Don't like that.
Don't like
Very
that at all.
interesting. So, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell everyone else how you just died?
I died. Awesome. With no regrets. Hashtag no regrets. And
no regrets.
And I suicide charged the enemy, drowning them in my own blood.
Okay.
Good luck with that.
So, yeah, let's go over here. The Tyrannosaurus Rex, for that's what it was, lunges through and grabs one of you and drags him off back through the window with a crunching sound that sickens you. The rest of you roll away just in time, charging back the way you came down the stairwell. You'll be nervous to return with that creature prowling about. So at this point, you can check out the sound, you can try the maintenance door, or you can head back down to the first floor again.
Maintenance door?
Should we just leave? You just leave.
It's scary here.
Yeah.
Maintenance door sounds fine. I trust Bergs more than the people that. Well, actually, no. Bergs said let's poke a corpse.
Twice.
First time, fine.
It worked
Second,
out well. It worked out well the first time.
Let's just ignore that Steve died and focus on the fact we got a bit of plastic.
To be fair, he wasn't. The corpses weren't the reason that Steve died.
I guess there's some logic to that, yeah.
Bad logic, but
yeah. Sure, I'm fine with maintenance door. I'm terrified of sounds now, so.
I'm going to stand behind Bergs.
Okay.
At a distance of at least 12 feet.
Heroic.
Come on, everybody. Let's go to the maintenance door.
You creep single file with Bergs at front along the landing towards the door, trying to ignore the sinister lighting, the dancing shadows, and the sound of Steve being crunched and being mauled to death. As you draw closer, you see it's definitely an access point for building maintenance. Your schematics from Agent Jordan didn't include service areas, but knowing that you need to find a power area, it might be a good shot. A large dent has buckled the door's surface, and it sits uncomfortably in its frame as a result. Listening carefully, you hear several faint echoes from behind the ruined panel, too quiet to discern what they might be. You gently test the handle, and hearing it click open, slide the door inwards. Inside is a long access corridor, the floor hard, unpainted concrete, and the walls anonymous breeze blocks. A row of bare light bulbs overhead illuminate the narrow space, their light dim, but sufficient enough you don't turn on your torch. Another door awaits at the far end, and as you draw closer you hear the sounds of gunfire and shouting from behind it. You recognise the bark of a pistol rather than an automatic rifle. A moment later their voices are joined by a blood-curdling screech and a rapid series of heavy thuds. The shouting becomes more urgent, and as you reach the door the first voice becomes a ragged scream. Snarling and horrific tearing noise take terrible hold, followed by a wet sound, like a slab of meat being pushed off a countertop. You full open the door and find yourself face to face with a researcher, face pale and his eyes wild with fear. He tries to push past, but you're too hemmed in, surprised to let him do so, and then a shape rises up behind and tears into him. He screams as an explosion of bright blood splatters over you and is dragged to the ground by a powerful bipedal dinosaur. The creature doesn't miss a heartbeat as it tears him asunder and leaps onto you, jaws painted the same red as the gore over your uniform. Test.
Oh, God.
Oh, I missed like all of that.
Do you want me to go back? Steve, what do you think?
Sounds an awful lot like nom 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 time.
Well, Steve now gets to be the guy who chooses. Steve, do you think I should read it again, or do you think I should leave it?
I think they should be given the choices with minimal context.
I like your style, Steve. Right. Take advice from the guy who got killed.
So, if we're allowed to metagame, it's a heart challenge.
I hope you're right, because the only heart card I've got is a 2. So, you better be right.
Well, because it was the only one that I heard that I caught was the only suit that Sherwin had said during his monologue was heartbeat. So
with fighting a heart,
that would be I think that the test is a heart card.
I think that it's not. I think it's what beats a heart card.
Oh, that's what I need to say. Sorry. So you want to play a club here. So is it any club beats any heart?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. I'll test this one.
I actually am fine with that because the club that I have left is a 9, so it's probably my best bet. So sure, let's go with that. Wait, it's not. Wait, that's a spade. God damn it! I've done it again, haven't I? 7. Sure, 7's pretty good.
Oh, okay. So we're all sending.
Yes, send me what you want, and I'll mark them off. Your assailant dead. Well, all of you survived. Well done.
Yeah.
Your assailant dead.
Let's go.
You push further into the room behind.
No, Steve.
Your assailant and Steve still dead. You reach into the door behind. You pass further into the room behind. Both researchers have expired. Their coats torn and bloody. Their eyes glazed over. A small generator occupies one corner, and you waste little time in crossing the floor and scanning your eyes over a panel connected to it. You see the words emergency, auxiliary power, and a short diagram indicating a series of button pushes. It's the work of but a moment to activate the generator, and you're rewarded when the overhead lights begin to brighten. You leave before the full horror of the carnage seen here is revealed. You quickly return down the corridor and back out into the landing. The thumping sound can still be heard, but all else remains still. Will you check out the sound? Or will you go back down to the lobby?
Well,
But I'm still saying we can leave. That's an option. We can just go back.
Come on, James. We gotta stick it out.
No, shut up. You've got one of our team members killed and almost yourself killed, and now we're probably gonna die.
So I was gonna say we ask Bergs what to do, and then we do the opposite of it, right?
Actually, I love that. See, that's logic.
I think we might as well check out the sound while we're on this floor if it's the last thing left to do.
Okay.
Okay.
No, fair enough. Everyone's agreeing.
Mm-hmm.
The door swings open with a creak, revealing a neat office that might belong to a senior director or military officer, judging from the lavish decor. At first glance, there's plenty here to investigate, but you're most interested in the laptop on the desk, apparently left unchecked and with the occupant's email server open. The sound forgotten, you hasten to the desk, eyes skim reading the subjects. Meeting reports, a disciplinary hearing, schedules, and then, at last, an email from Dr. Burke. You open it and read on, feeling the hope drain from your body as you read. How are you all doing in that drab old facility? Hanging in there? Me? I just got back from a date with a hot chick. Europe is amazing. Maybe I'll extend my vacation for another 6 months. Dylan, don't you think of coming to join me? I'll leave or just leaves all the babes to me. It's dated a week before now. You've put yourself in danger for no reason. A loud thump breaks you from your thoughts, and you wheel around to find yourself staring into the eyes of a large dinosaur standing on the landing outside, clubbing at the glass window with its huge claws. As you watch in horror, a crack appears and then another. You have little time to react as the entire pane pops from the frame and the creature falls into the office, crashing amongst you. Test.
Right, it's 2 of clubs.
Yep. So, diamonds, right?
Diamonds, yeah.
Thank you. One day I will learn the difference between these two things.
I only have 1 diamond left.
Oof.
Yeah, same.
It will succeed, like either way, but but yeah,
I'm not doing too terribly. I have 3
So this
different
is the
suits
two of
left:
clubs?
a 9, an 8, and a 2, though. So
Right for you, Burger.
Metagaming this correctly. This is my best play.
There's always one.
just don't poke it.
I didn't even say anything this time.
Somewhere out there, you hear Steve screaming.
still going.
Resident Evil 2 is the best Resident Evil.
It's never been as good as it was back then.
Now that's why I call survival horror. It's just released.
Just remember, James, you are now Sophie's godfather.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
Not necessarily. I mean, maybe really, but also I meant for the nature of the game. But also, I mean,
damn. Well, he had a good run.
Your weapons make short work of your assailant, but do little for your feeling of despair. There's little for you to do now but escape, although how you achieve that feels utterly beyond you. Your extraction point is out in the jungle, which for all you know is infested with dinosaurs. You head back out onto the landing, and downstairs. So, you're back in the main hall. Will you try the elevators, or will you head out of the main entrance and make your way to the port?
Oh. Well, I would say we should find out what happened. We haven't found out what happened to Jordan yet, right?
No.
So maybe it's
elevators.
Maybe we should check the elevators.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a red herring. Watch.
Could be. Could be.
Are the elevator doors closed?
At the moment, they are.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you have the key, so you're all good. Mm-hmm. You swipe the card across the reader and are rewarded once more by the electronic tone, but the lights hold strong. This time the power holds. You watch the numbers above the doors illuminate, starting at B5 and slowly starting to ascend. It takes a moment. It takes what feels like an eternity, but finally it reaches ground floor. The doors slowly grind open. You realise your mistake in not standing back a moment later as another dinosaur trapped inside leaps out to attack in a blur of claws and scales. Test.
Okay. Well, so there's 5, but
I had 5. Yeah, I didn't get a suit from that.
B could be black, so it could be a black suit.
It's an interesting theory.
Be careful or be dead. Just saying.
Be quick or be dead. Yeah.
I'm loving Steve being part of this. It's amazing.
The ghost of Steve says,
"Use your brains, everybody."
I have a high spate. No way.
I have 2 high cards, so I think I'm just going to go. Oh, it's such a gamble, though, because it doesn't. In the case of one outright beating it, sure, let's just do it.
Did you hear anything, Bergs? Anything extra?
I was trying to go over it again in my brain to see if I heard a reference to a suit, but I can't. I don't think I caught one. I caught 5.
Right. I'm just going to play a diamonds card and hope for the best.
So, Bergs, how are you feeling about this?
Yeah. Ah, jeez.
Oh, no.
Sherwin. Not great now.
No, you're good. Sigh.
Yep. Yep.
Should have listened to Burger.
Oh, no.
How did you die?
Dramatically, but also very beautifully. I looked good the whole time. It was great.
As Sigh blossoms like a crimson flower.
There you go. You found it.
In the corner. The creature's corpse twitches quite unnaturally in the aftermath, but it appears to have breathed its last. Regardless, there's little enthusiasm to find out whether it's truly dead or not. You hustle into the elevator. Unfortunately, it looks like the creature has damaged the panel and only a few of the buttons are still attached. Which button will you press? Button B4, button B5, or button B...
I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. Sorry, could you repeat the numbers again?
Sure. B4, B5, or B9.
And it's just the two of us now.
Just the two of you.
We can make it if we try. Do you want to go all the way down to the bottom? I guess is the question. I feel like if we did that, it would be a waste of time because we don't have any extra. We don't have any more keys or anything.
Well, I mean, we can try and press B9 and see if it works.
Okay. Does B9 work?
Okay, B9 is. The doors close and you begin your slow descent. The elevator shakes in a way that might concern you normally, but given your current situation, part of you would count a plummet to your death, a blessing in disguise. Several times the elevator slows to an agonisingly slow pace and the lights flicker and you remember that flashing red light. Likely the facility is operating on emergency power only. You can't afford to dwell here. Find the good doctor and get out of the... Well, can't find the good doctor, he's gone. So find Agent Jordan and get out to the extraction site. Easier said than done. Finally, the elevator reaches its destination and the doors grind open. Beyond, you see a dark corridor lit only red deep by deep red emergency lighting, a revolving light casting shadows that dance on the walls. You take your first step and immediately freeze. Heavy breathing reaches your ears, ragged and inhuman. The origin of the sound is impossible to sense as it echoes from the hard walls and floor, lazily taunting you like a predator stalking its prey. You quietly slip back into the elevator, but are dismayed to see the panel has died. It looks like you have one choice, onwards, and hope that you won't have to confront whatever this foe may be. As you walk the corridor, you can see that the devastation visited upon the facility above pales by comparison to the carnage that took place down here. Bloody trails are smeared across the floor, where it looks like bodies have been dragged away. Bullet holes have been punched through into the walls, and loose casings threaten to trip you underfoot. Your constant companion is the breathing, turned sinister and haunting. You are within the lungs of an immense creature, and air traces through in the wake of your footsteps. A door awaits ahead, blinking in and out of existence as in the emergency lighting. You wipe a layer of sweat from your brow, and take your next step when you hear a new sound. A claw tapping the concrete flooring in a regular staccato. Will you cautiously advance, or will you run for the door?
Oh. Well, it hasn't... Here's my thinking, Bergs.
Yeah.
We've arrived and it hasn't launched on us. So that says to me that it hasn't heard us.
I mean, it's also... I'm getting liquor vibes here, so running would be a bad call.
Yeah, so I think, carefully is probably the way to go.
Yeah, carefully is the way to go.
So... this one is a number test, so you want to try and get the highest number you possibly can on this one. So both let me know what cards you played.
Can we combine cards?
That absolutely will. So the other is this is a collective test. It was easier when there were more of you, but sadly they're corpses.
Can we?
Well, Steve might still be fighting the Tyrannosaurus
I really definitely have this. I'm going to play my 9 of spades minigun reload.
Nice.
Can we combine our own cards?
No, you only pick one card each.
Okay.
For one heartbeat, you feel you made the correct choice, and then a loud clatter emerges as a panel falls from the ceiling behind and a pair of shapes crash into the corridor. The creatures come into view in the hellish light. Both bipedal dinosaurs with legs the length of your body and heads the size of your torso. First roars at you as it finds its footing, revealing a mouthful of needle teeth. Running is all you can do. Both of you discard a card.
Oh, I have no cards now.
I have no cards now. Does that mean we both die?
No. As in you've discarded and you've got no cards left, or?
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
We better hope you don't hear anything else. You charge down the corridor as hard as your legs can take you, daring you not to look behind. Loud thuds accompany you after a moment, rapidly getting louder. Muscles screaming, you hurtle headlong through the door and slam it behind you. A piece of metal piping leans against the wall and you grab it to wedge under the handle. Just in time as the entire frame shakes as your pursuers slam into the door. A frustrated snarl heralds another slam and then another. The metal pipe bends, but holds true. For now, you are safe. Well done. You've reached the end of the first section.
Yay!
If you guys enjoyed that, if you guys like that, I will do another one, and we'll carry on going.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Jordan, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't met KDB. He's out there somewhere.
Yeah. Mystery will live on. That was awesome. Thanks, Sherwin.
No worries.
Yeah, that was really wonderful. It's fun. I enjoyed that.
Just to check, I take it the test where I died, I just played the worst possible suit is what happened.
That's exactly what it was. There's only one suit you could have played that would have killed you, and you played it.
Amazing. That figures.
Steve managed to completely out-metagame himself.
Yeah.
Having got it and then trying to be too clever for his own good, then chose death.
You've got to style on them. You can't just if I'd have been there, they would have walked at Sherwin. They needed to have that challenge.
No, I'm with you. Berger had it the entire way and was metagaming it like a pro.
Nice. That's great. Cool. Well, nothing else remains for me but to thank our contributors, our patrons, and our listeners. Join the First Aid Spray Discord server to become part of our community and hear the show early and unedited. And don't forget to follow us on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and more. All of these links and all of our content can be found at faspraypod.com. You can listen to the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and all good podcasting apps. And if you like what you hear, please do leave us a review where you can and spread the good word. Don't forget you can support the show by picking up some merch or at patreon.com/FA Spray Pod for as little as $1 a month. In Season 7 of First Aid Spray, we'll be continuing Comic Club and Virology, perhaps closing out Film Club for now. Maybe even bringing back Book Club. We'll, of course, be ready to cover any new releases, whilst we, in the meantime, revisit some older ones, many of which are more maligned or less popular spin-offs. But we'll be kicking things off in episode 91 with a revisit to a game we first talked about in Season 1 of the show as we celebrate 25 years of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Thank you to the panel. You can follow all of the Pueblo people individually. I'm currently at Cy White on Blue Sky. That might change. You can find Steve and James on Blue Sky as well at FBSteve and at Moist Owlet OFF. Berger and Sherwin are currently on Twitter at It's Burger Time and at Sherwin's Agenda. And finally, thank you for listening and have a good week.
All right.
Do you want me to... Is everyone here or...
No idea. You're the first person to actually say anything.
Roll call. Steve.
Good job. Failed immediately.
I will cease roll call.
The sentiment was there. I liked it.